Good morning and welcome to Rising. We've got another great show for you today. It is Thursday by my count, and I am joined by Linda Tran. Nice to see you, Linda.
I'm going to ask you every single week, but did you miss me, Robbie? Because I missed you.
Of course I missed you.
And
I
we're
look
color
forward to
coordinated
Thursday.
as usual.
Yeah, we're not, I don't think we're...
I mean, you know, spring colors.
Yeah,
Like,
it's not...
It's time.
It's not hurting anyone's eyes, hopefully.
What's on your radar, Robbie?
Happy to share with you. Well, the odds of a government shutdown just got a lot higher as Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer declared his caucus is not willing to support the continuing resolution approved by the House to fund the government for another 6 months. Let's watch.
Funding the government should be a bipartisan effort, but Republicans chose a partisan path, drafting their continuing resolution without any input from congressional Democrats. Because of that, Republicans do not have the votes in the Senate to invoke cloture on the House CR. Our caucus is unified on a clean April 11th CR that will keep the government open and give Congress time to negotiate bipartisan legislation that can pass.
In other words, shutdown Schumer is only willing to support a 30-day extension of current government spending levels. Now that's a problem because what the House passed was a 6-month extension. And after passing it, they all left town. So it's very unlikely that the House is going to come back to Washington in the next 48 hours in order to play ball with Chuck Schumer and sign off on the plan that he likes before the funding deadline, which is 12:01 a.m. Saturday night or morning. So unless Schumer is bluffing, the government is going to shut down. To which I say, okay, fine. I mean, look, not really. Obviously, a sudden, abrupt, unplanned shutdown of the federal government is less than ideal. It hurts the economy, it creates inefficiencies, it puts some vital services on hold, at least makes it more difficult for citizens to take advantage of these vital services. And importantly, it doesn't even end up saving money. I think by some estimations it costs money. What typically happens is the government employees who are furloughed while the government shuts down, they end up receiving back pay whenever the funding package is eventually agreed to. Now, I want smaller government, much smaller government. This is not the right way to do it. Even so, one has to sort of marvel at the irony. Elon Musk and the Department of Government Efficiency have been ruthlessly rooting out waste, fraud, and abuse, and keeping President Trump up to date on all sorts of unpopular foreign aid programs that they think he should cut. In response, Democrats have railed at Musk and Trump for cutting government in non-democratic fashion. They say that Elon and Trump have no right to abolish whole departments and engage in mass firing of federal employees and cancellations of various funding schemes. They don't even think Trump should be able to email the federal workforce, to say nothing of the fury over the name 5 things you did today, this week email. The Democratic Party's argument against all of this, of course, is that it's undemocratic and chaotic to reduce the size and scope of the federal government in this matter. And yet, the Democratic Party is willing to let the entire government shut down if they don't get their way, even though they don't control any branches of government. The only way they can do this, obviously, is through the filibuster, which is hardly a cornerstone of democracy. It actually allows the minority party to thwart the will of the majority. Now, again, to be clear, I don't have any problem with that, but it's very contrary to every message we've heard from Democrats since Trump was elected, and since it became clear that he was actually going to take advantage of his mandate and, do things. The day-to-day operations of the federal government are very much under threat right now. It's not Elon Musk who's about to bring it all crashing down. It's Chuck Schumer. So, we're going to do it. We're stopping, we're derailing the government, which I was, assured by Democrats was just this evil project of Elon Musk and Donald Trump. And now Chuck Schumer is willing to do it because that's what's going to happen. They're not all going to come back to Washington to vote on a new package when Chuck Schumer and Democrats are going to be the ones who are blamed for this shutdown, as they all are willing to do. So I don't understand the strategy whatsoever. What is their strategy?
Well, we shall see. I don't think any of us know exactly what's going to happen in the next few days here, but let's be clear about what's happening. So yes, Chuck Schumer and the Democratic Party, members of Congress, are caught between that metaphorical rock and a hard place. And why is that? On the one hand, you have activists and Democratic Party stalwarts who are clearly very upset that they haven't seen vociferous fighting from their elected leaders in Congress, and it's starting to play out here. But on the other hand, members of Congress on the Democratic side really do care about government. I mean, to your point earlier about the long-standing messaging about keeping government going and essential services, what they're concerned about is pretty legitimate. On the House side of things, what they passed was a $13 billion cut to really, really serious programs, including programs that support farmers, programs that support veterans, programs that support education, for example, that people really, really rely on in this country. And at the same time, increasing your personal favorite, Robby, $6 billion more for defense spending. So Senator Schumer and his cadre of leaders really have to make a stand against what these are incredibly value conflicted issues that they're going to have to push back against.
Yeah, I personally agree with Thomas Massie, who voted against the entire thing because it just maintains federal spending at the Biden levels, which I thought we elected Republicans to fix that problem. I agree with Senator Rand Paul, who we interviewed on Rising today. It was a great interview. People should go back and watch it if they missed it, who said that it's unthinkable that we, the Republicans who now control the Congress and have the presidency, would continue doing funding at the same level as Democrats, and he supported a rescissions package that actually is not subject to the filibuster. Donald Trump could basically send this spending back to Congress, and then they could do, on a simple majority basis, rescissions to cancel out some of it. Maybe they could still do that. I hope it takes place. But in the meantime, I agree with the small number of Republicans who actually want to enact the America First MAGA agenda that Trump ran on. At the same time, it's just weird to see Democrats are going to end up accomplishing temporarily the same thing. Because, of course, what's ultimately going to happen has happened every other time the government shuts down. They restore back pay to all the federal workers who didn't have to work in that time period. So it doesn't end up saving any money. I'm just amazed that they're actually willing to go there. Maybe not. Maybe they'll blink at the last moment, and we will have the House continuing resolution agreed to by the Senate. I don't know what else could possibly happen. Or the federal government will shut down for some number of days. I think that's probably rising in likelihood.
Or it could be that they make this push for this 30-day extension, it fails, and they have the opportunity to say that they at least fought for it. I do think it's really a difficult position, even just from an optics position, for Senator Schumer, for Democrats writ large, to say, yeah, I'm okay with shutting everything down and only doing a little piece of government, which, by the way, would then put the power into the hands of Donald Trump and his leadership team to decide what exactly is quote unquote essential. I was one of those essential employees, and let me tell you, running government is hard enough at full staff, much less with nobody sitting in the chairs.
Yeah, that's a good point. Donald Trump might be about to get exactly what him and Elon want in terms of shutting down vast swaths of the government. Next up on Rising, the chemical giant attempting to gag cancer victims. We'll tell you about that. Stay tuned.